Welcome everyone for the third day development faculty. True prayer is not just talking to God, but rather listening to Him. Let's start this auspicious day with beautiful prayer. நீராறும் கடலொடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கிளிலொழும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ் பரத கண்டவிதில் தெக்கணமும் நதி சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு திரை நுகரும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிலமை திரும்பி எந்த செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே. It's a welcomed gift to encourage others to achieve greatness. I'm glad to invite Miss Kelsey for welcome address.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me an immense pleasure to start this auspicious day by heartily welcoming everybody. First and foremost, I entreat the presence of the Almighty God who bless all our endeavors. Leadership is not about title positions or work hours, it's about relationship. We are extremely blessed to have such an inspiring person as our chairman. I cordially welcome our chairman, Shri V. Lakshmi Narayana Swami sir. It's my immense pleasure to extend a warm welcome to our beloved President, L. Suguna ma'am. It's my great privilege to welcome our Secretary, Dr. Shrikant Kannan sir, a person who has assisted in not just developing but also enhancing our creativity and knowledge. I would extend a warm welcome to our Director Admin, Dr. V. Sekhar sir. Great leader inspire people to have confidence in themselves. A woman with a great vision and mission, an icon for hard work. It's our chief guest, Dr. N. Geeta, Associate Professor in CMS Institute of Management Studies. We welcome you, ma'am. I wholeheartedly welcome our principal, Dr. R. Rajkumar sir, who has been a pillar behind this event. Next, I would like to welcome all heads of various departments on all our faculty members. We welcome you all.
Respect is earned, but honor is given. Now I request Ms. Sushma Joshia to address our chief guest.
Effective leadership is not about making speeches or being liked. Leadership is defined by results, not attributes. On this auspicious day, our chief guest is Dr. N. Geeta, Research Supervisor of Bardhiar University, currently guiding 6 PhD scholars. She had pursued MCom, MPhil, Master of Business Administration, postgraduate diploma in computer applications, NET UGC PhD. Currently working as an associate professor in CMS Institute of Management Studies with a teaching experience of 17 years. Her publications includes awareness and use of existing 4.1R technologies among teacher educators, journals of management and entrepreneurship, published in volume 17, number 1 of 3 in UGC Care Group 1 journal. Emotional Intelligence at Workplace: Emerging Issues in Consumer Behavior. The book named Taxation Law and Practice has Intagul Publication Private Limited. I kindly request Dr. N. Geeta ma'am to hand over the session ma'am.
Now,
Thank you
I
very much,
hand over the
madam.
session to our chief guest.
Thank you very much, madam. I express my gratitude to the management, principal, and staff members of Suguna College of Arts and Science for giving me an opportunity to act as a resource person. I'm extremely happy to be the part of this virtual faculty development program. The topic given to me is assessment and evaluation of students' learning. Am I audible, ma'am? Can you see my presentation? The topic is very important for the students as well as the teachers. That is assessment and evaluation of students learning in college. Assessment and evaluation of students learning are crucial component of education process. They provide valuable insights into the student's progress, strength, and area for improvement. Effective assessment and evaluation practice help the educator to find out the good students and to follow the good strategy which makes the students to improve their skill. Just I like to tell some key aspects and methods which is involved in the assessment and evaluation process. Coming to the assessment and evaluation, when we hear the term assessment and evaluation, there are two terms which is often used interchangeably, but they have different meanings. Assessment is the process of investigating what and how students are learning in relation to the expected learning objectives. Assessment is a process oriented thing. Evaluation, on the other hand, involves making a judgment about the quality of students' learning and work. It is product oriented. The main difference between the assessment and evaluation is that the assessment is the process of investigating while the evaluation is process of making the judgment about the students. There are various types of assessment. When we do the assessment, that gives answer to many questions. Few questions are: what do students know? What they doesn't know? We have to find out that. And few more questions. What are students struggling for? Why they are struggling? What should I teach next? Which student need an intervention? What type of intervention matches the specific need of a student? Does our curriculum have a gap between learning expectations and assessment? When we do the assessment, we can find the answer for such questions from the students. It helps the teachers to develop their teaching skill. Another important aspect in the learning process is feedback. Feedback is an important part of learning process. Feedback can help set a path for students, directing their attention to the area for growth and improvement. From the feedback, faculty members can understand what is the requirement and expectation of the student. Effective and relevant feedback assists the learners to reflect on their learning and learning strategy so they can make adjustment to make better progress at their learning stage. Good feedback discover effective assessment strategy to promote students learning. It refers to different tools and techniques which is employed by the instructor to evaluate their students. The evaluation is important to identify the strength and weakness of the student, recognize the unique learning need of an individual student, to track the progress of the learner. We should know what are all the importance of assessment. What is the role of assessment? The role of assessment in learning is the process of measuring and evaluating students' learning outcomes. So, how the assessment helps in tracking the students' progress? We have to find out that. Assessment helps in capturing students' attention and it motivates them to learn. Also, assessment generating appropriate learning activities and feedback for the students, which helps the students to understand and find and to tell the expectation about the students, and he will learn the discipline in detail. It informs the teachers, policymakers, and society about the quality and effectiveness of education. Coming to the impact of assessment on the instructional planning and improvement, a student's assessment enables instructor to measure the effectiveness of their teaching by linking students' performance to specific learning objectives. As a result, teachers are able to institutionalize his or her effective teaching choice and they can improve their teaching skills. One of the most important thing the teacher should understand whether the student could understand whatever they are taking in the class, and then if need then they have to change the teaching pedagogy so that it will reach the student properly. There are different types of assessment, that is formative assessment, summative assessment, performance based assessment, self assessment, and peer assessment. These are all few assessment, just I am quoting here. Now we will see what is the formative assessment. Normally, formative assessments are ongoing, regular assessments, normally which is designed to know the progress of the students regularly, daily or weekly once. Like we can conduct the activity, we can ask the students to conduct seminar, we can give a small test, we can conduct quiz, we can ask the students to discuss a topic. Group activities can be conducted. By conducting such an activity, we can understand the capacity of the student. Not only understanding, when we conduct such a program for the student, they can develop their skill. Then, what is summative assessment? Summative assessment are more comprehensive evaluation that typically occur at the end of the learning period. Though summative assessment, we can measure the overall level of the students' understanding, their thorough knowledge in this subject. Few examples of summative assessments are nothing but final examination, which we used to conduct every semester. We can conduct various types of examination and the major project presentation, all those things. That is once in a semester what we are conducting, that is summative assessment. Next comes performance based assessment. Actually, a performance based assessment measures students' ability to apply the skills and knowledge learned from the syllabus. It helps the students to use their higher order thinking skills to create a product or complete a process, or it improves the decision making skills. For example, students can conduct an exhibition based on the subject which they have studied. Students can perform a role play. So, from that, we can understand how much they have learned from the subject. Next comes self assessment. Self assessment is analyzing himself. How a student can analyze himself? Student can keep a daily activity diary. For example, I'm telling students can keep a daily activity diary to track the personal growth, setting a goal for himself. He can attend mock interviews. He has to participate in all the events which the college is going to give. So, from that, he can assess his knowledge. It helps him to know his knowledge. And if his knowledge is less, he has to actively participate in every event, he has to develop himself. That is what self assessment. Coming to the peer assessment, it is the process in which one student. Am I audible, madam? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, madam. Coming to peer assessment, it is the process in which I think somebody's mic is on. Yes. Can you ask them to mute the mic? Is it possible? Thank you. Coming to peer assessment, it is the process in which one student can provide feedback about other student. The purpose of feedback is to help the classmate to improve their learning. It's not a criticism. Just when one student is going to give feedback about another student, the student can know about him and then he can improve. So peer assessment also one of the important thing through that the students can develop himself. There are various assessment methods. In addition to the regular activities in the class, exams will be conducted. Normally, when we conduct the examination, we can conduct a multiple choice. We can give multiple choice question or objective type question. In our university, we are giving multiple choice question. Whether it is multiple choice question or objective type question, even objective type means which include multiple choice, fill in the blanks, all those things. The objective type, while conducting the examination, teacher can ask them to prepare for an objective type question. Normally in the class we can conduct regularly, we can conduct an examination just by giving objective type questions. Normally if the students are scoring more mark in the objective type question, means that shows that he is having a very deep knowledge in this subject. The students, those who are having very deep knowledge in the subject, will score more mark in the objective type question. Normally, when we conduct the examination, we will conduct essay type questions, that is descriptive type questions. When we conduct the descriptive type questions, we can uh, just judge the students' broader knowledge in the subject. When a students are having a very good knowledge, very broad knowledge about the subject, he can elaborate everything. Normally, we used to give project for the final year students. When the projects are prepared and presented, it developed the creativity and critical thinking of the student. We can conduct quiz. When we conduct the quiz, we can assess the knowledge of the student. This can be conducted as just regular activity in the classroom. Once in a while, in a month, one day in a month, we can conduct quiz. For every subject we can conduct, or we can conduct general quiz, so that the students can improve their knowledge. General knowledge also they can improve. Even though there are many assessment methods and techniques are available, assessing the knowledge is not an easy task. It's quality oriented. Measuring a quality is not much easy. That is very difficult, little difficult. There are few common challenges in assessment and evaluation that must be identified and addressed. Students' assessment, teachers' assessment, technological problem, social issues. There are so many possible challenges are there. It will help if we investigate. We have to investigate what is the problem, and if we investigate each and every problem, if there is any problem, if we investigate thoroughly, we will find out the solution of that, and then we can rectify it. In our education system, there is a deficiency in training on modern approaches and the application of technologies in assessment. Education institutions also lack the necessary expertise in evaluation process by using the technologies and procedures for their instructors and examiners. So, teachers should be trained to use the new teaching methods. The advanced technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning can be implemented in the education system too. But whenever technologies are used, it needs huge investment. Education institution sometimes may not be in a position to spend for latest infrastructure. Teachers should be aware of their students' subject related thinking and should be familiar with role design, program content sequencing, and its connections to subject. Many of our students need time, guidance, and motivation to succeed. Some students are very good, they have a very good learning skill, they have a very good understanding, but few students, they need more guidance from the teachers, they need motivation from the teachers. If the teachers are good enough to motivate the students to overcome all those, whatever, wherever area they are lagging, if they are helping, teachers are helping, means surely they can overcome the bias and they will shine. If we compare the continuous assessment with the end of the term assessment, in contrast to the final examination, continuous assessment provides evidence for a candidate's performance in many areas during the course. But final examination typically very important, and that is needed. When we compare and contrast the continuous assessment with the end semester examination, student studies are evaluated by final examinations and continuous test during the whole academic year. I believe that the continuous assessment is more useful, but the final examination also needed. Normally, continuous tests in the class do not put the students under a great pressure. But when it is a final examination, surely there is an exam fear for the students. In the continuous assessment, even the performance of the student is poor or average, when they are continuously assessed, surely they can improve. It will make them to study well for the final examination. If I have to highlight the advantages and disadvantages of each approach, after the evaluation of the final examination, if a student score a very low mark, it can spoil his or her efforts and hard work. Exam pressure, which affects their test result too. We should forget that continuous assessment help. We should not forget that continuous assessment helps the students to learn many things, and it will improve their learning ability, and they can progress in these studies and they can develop. Next comes feedback and improvement. What is the highlight of getting the feedback? Highlight the importance of feedback in the learning process. Im- Feedback is a very important part of teaching and learning. When we collect feedback from faculty, feedback from students, we are collecting the feedback from faculty about the students. When we collect feedback from faculty about the students, it helps the students to understand his knowledge. Also, it strengthens the classroom communication between teachers and students. Normally, when we give the feedback about the student, when we give this feedback to the student directly, student come to know where he is and what are all his challenges, how he has to learn everything. All those informations he can gather from the teacher. So it strengthens the classroom communication also. It improves a student's confidence, self-awareness, and enthusiasm for learning. When the student can understand where he is lagging, he can, when he is aware of that, he can rectify it, and then with enthusiasm he can learn the subject. It will assist the learners to reflect on the learning and learning strategy so they can make adjustment to make better progress at the learning stage. Feedback is one of the most effective teaching and learning technique that gives a direct impact on both teacher and student. Learning process that has an immediate impact on the process of acquiring knowledge. Next comes feedback from student or feedback by the student. teacher can understand where the students are lagging and what they are expecting from the teacher. Accordingly, design or change the strategy of teaching. So, feedback gives opportunity for both to understand the level of understanding by the student and what is the level of understanding of the student can be understood by the teacher. There will be a good relationship too if there is a very good feedback that create a very good understanding, and there will be a very good relationship among the students and teacher. Suppose if it is an autonomous college, now we have a type of college, autonomous, non-autonomous college. Normally in non-autonomous college, I think that feedback from the faculty will be, that is feedback will be given by the faculty to the students. So that student will come to know where he is standing and how he has to improve, what are all the thing he has to learn, everything he will learn from getting the feedback from the faculty. Normally, feedback from the student also will help the faculty to develop their or to change their strategy of teaching. If it is an autonomous college, normally the board of studies will be conducted. At the time, what we will do, autonomous college will do, they will prepare the syllabus, everything they will be preparing. At that time, they will have a discussion with the professors of various universities, professors of various colleges, while designing the syllabus. So it when they get the feedback from the learned person, it helps the it helps them to develop the curriculum in a better way. So collecting feedback from outsider also is good so that they can develop their curriculum in a better manner. Here we used to call the alumni also for the board of studies. So at that time, alumnus also they can give their feedback about the curriculum and everything. So whatever is required in the current scenario in the companies, if they inform accordingly, the college can prepare the syllabus. So collecting feedback from the alumnus, collecting feedback from the educators also help the autonomous college to develop the curriculum. So feedback from the point of view of assessment and evaluation, which is very, very important, feedback given by the faculty is very essential for the improvement of the student. Feedback received from the student is very, very essential to improve the teaching methodology of the teacher. Evaluation, assessment, evaluation, everything is a continuous process. Evaluation is an important component of a teaching learning process. Without evaluation, we cannot tell where the student is standing. When in a class, if there are 60 students are there, if we evaluate properly, if we grade them properly, we will come to know where the students are standing, whether his understanding is good, average, or poor, that we can understand. So, evaluation is an important component in teaching. It helps the teachers and learners to improve teaching and learning. Evaluation is a continuous process, not a periodic exercise. It is a continuous process. Every day we are evaluating the student. Every activity when we conduct, we are evaluating the student. Every semester, end of the semester, we conduct the examination, we are evaluating the student. It helps us to judge the students, to know the educational status and achievement of the students. Evaluation is inevitable in teaching learning process. Hence, it is desirable that teachers must acquire knowledge and understanding about the various aspects of evaluation. Evaluation is a systematic process to know the academic performance of a student. Coming to the evaluation, just like in assessment, we had different methods of assessment like formative assessment, summative assessment, peer assessment, all those. Similarly, evaluation also here, the main assessment evaluation main method of evaluation is formative evaluation and evaluation. Formative evaluation means just like every day whatever the activity is conducted, or then and there in a semester many activities will be conducted by a department. So how the student are participating, so from that we can evaluate the student. That is formative evaluation. Summative evaluation is just like the summative assessment. At the end of the year, we are conducting examination. We will conduct the Viva's examination. We will conduct the practical examination. When we conduct the final examination, various types of final examination, from that we can evaluate the student. That is formative evaluation. It is a diagnostic approach. Evaluation is a diagnostic approach because evaluation is a thorough ongoing process. It aids a teacher in identifying problems and aids a teacher in solving problem with the student. If the teacher can diagnose what is the problem of the student, real problem of the, sometimes we may be having, we have theory paper as well as the problem oriented paper. Some students will excel in theory paper, some will excel in problem oriented paper. So when we do the assessment regularly, when we evaluate them regularly, we can understand where they are lagging, whether they are good in theory, whether they are not, whether they are good in theory or not, whether they are good in problem oriented paper or not. If the student need more concentration on the problem oriented paper, means we can give more advice, we can teach them little more, so that we can give them more practice classes, so that he will develop his skill in the problem oriented paper, he will learn the problem oriented paper. Similarly, few students, they are very good in the problem oriented paper, but they are not good in the essay writing. If it is theory paper, means they have to write a lot. Some students, they may not like writing much, so when they are not going to write much, if it is a management commerce paper, means they have to write little more. If it is a bioscience, no problem, they will be writing as just what is what they have to write. But coming to the management or commerce paper, surely they have to write little. So they have to improve their writing skill. So the teacher can diagnose, when they evaluate, they can diagnose, just they can diagnose whether the students are lagging in any area. Then they can give the guidance for them. Coming to the next one is remedial. Normally, remedial classes are conducted before the student. If the students failed, we will remedial class in the next semester, and then we expect that the student have to write the examination. He should get good mark in that paper, so that we can ensure the improvement of the student. When we conduct a remedial classes, we can ensure the improvement in the student. So that is one thing we need in the evaluation, in the educational evaluation. It is a continuous process and we can diagnose many things. When we diagnose many things, we can give remedial classes, or for the very poor student also we can conduct the remedial classes. The purpose of education is to improve the student's behavior. A teacher can demonstrate how a learner's performance has changed or improved through evaluation. Initially, how the student was, and after giving advice or remedial classes conducted or giving few assessments, assignment to the students, how the students have developed, that the changes from the first stage, whether the student have changed his performance, whether he could improve his performance, whether he has improved the learning skill, everything we can judge. That should be the clear goal of the education. It should be the clear goal of the education. The student have to improve. Wherever he is lagging, that should be found, and proper guidance or assistance should be given to the students so that he can improve. That should be the clear goal of the education. Also, teachers can provide advice and guidance. As just earlier, I said that guidance and advice should be given to the students whenever they need. So thorough assessment is in all aspect. When the teacher is giving a very good assessment, thorough assessment is done on a student in all the aspect means that will improve him. Even after the assessment, after the guidance, if the student is not improving means, surely the teacher can provide some counsel. So counseling session can be conducted for such students for their improvement. Evaluation is an aid for these teachers to understand their students' intelligence, ability, and interest level, to classify their students as high learner, medium learner, and low learner. It helps to assist them. We have to classify the students, whether the student are a high learner, medium learner, or a low learner. So when we classify the students, we can do one thing. We can make a group of students. That means in a group, we can just have a student with a high learning capacity, a student with a medium learning capacity, and a student with low learning capacity. Then we can give a group activity to the students. So in a group, if the mixture of students are there, means surely high learner will help the remaining two types of learner to improve, so that the remaining students will improve. Normally, the students are coming to study. If it is a UG program, 3 year, PG means either 3 year or 2 year program. Whenever the students are with us, surely it's it, our responsibility that we have to make them to study, not only just studying the lessons, they have to develop their own skill. That is very, very important. In the competition world nowadays, more number of people are coming with a degree. The paper degree will not give anything. They should have an experience. So how they will get an experience? They have to get a job. If they have to get a job, surely they have to develop their skill. So to develop this skill, we can have so many activities we can conduct. It is a benefit for the students. They can improve the knowledge, and teacher can also just conduct all those things. It's a teaching process. Whenever the students are progressing at higher level, whatever aid the teachers are using for the development of the student, that is a teaching process. So these are all the importance of assessment and evaluation in a college. Understanding the various learning process and evaluation technique will help the teachers to identify the students' potential, which helps them to guide the student. So encouraging the continuous assessment and evaluation will develop the standard of the student and the standard of the education institute also. Just before completing my session, I want to tell here, there are so many online courses are offered. So for example, everybody know that there is a course like Swayam. So many subjects are offered. We are asking the students to learn that. Many are just registering. Very few students are learning, and they are doing the examination. If we ask them to do it, if we make it compulsory, surely the students will learn. I know there are few colleges, they are asking the students to learn it. They are making it a compulsory one. Even though many colleges, we are not doing like that because already they are studying so many things in the curriculum in their course. If we are asking them to study extra paper, it may be sometimes little tough for them, so we are not asking them to learn such a course. But those courses which is offered by the government and all, it's very very valid course. They can develop, they can understand many things from that. So we can ask them to learn that paper. If we make it compulsory one, surely the students will learn. So when we are making it compulsory, we can ask the students, we have to choose few subjects for the students, either 2 or 3 subjects in a semester under SWAYAM course or any online course. We can select even IBM for the computer students and all, they are conducting many examinations. So we can choose few paper. We should not give 20 or 25 options to them. We have to give 3 or 4 options, subjects, and we have to ask them to choose and to write the exam, do the examination. When they study something apart from their regular curriculum, that is very helpful for them when they go for the job or somewhere. They can develop little more instead of just sticking on the curriculum which we are providing. When we are going to implement such a thing, we can do one thing. Suppose if the students are getting a passed in the such course, means that can be considered, and for that they can give some extra mark in the internal. So if we make like that, surely students will join such a course, and it is a benefit for the students as well as benefit for the college. Thank you very much. With this, I
Thank you
am
so much, ma'am.
just thank you, madam.
Audience, if you have any queries, please you can.
No duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. Now I request Miss Sona to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening to all. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks. I would like to thank our chief guest, Dr. Geeta, Associate Professor in Famous Institute of Management Studies, who honored this faculty development program with the topic of assessment and evolution of students learning. I would like to thank our beloved faculty members for making this FDP a grand success. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.